There's a lot of talk on YouTube at the moment about the wild camping genre being dead, and a few of the bigger channels have touched on this, and I want to add my 10p's worth to it as well, because I think there's a little bit of scaremongering going on as well. So without a doubt, for me, my wild camping videos haven't been doing nearly as well as they did pre-2024, but I think every channel received a bit of a boost, because I remember as soon as lockdown hit, my views went up overnight, and you could see the graph in my analytics. It just jumped and it stayed there right through lockdown, and that trend continued out of lockdown, and it was only until last year my channel took a bit of a nosedive, and I don't know if flatline's the right word, but certainly views are down. They're maybe getting between 2,000 and 4,000 views for a sort of stereotypical wild camp where I go up to the summit of a mountain, camp for the night, back home in the morning. Yeah, I get about 2,000 to 4,000 views, where before I'd maybe get between 4,000 and 6,000 views. And to be honest, I don't really want to change. That's my main hobby, and I don't want to change to suit the YouTube platform. So it's just something I need to accept, that views aren't going to be quite the same, because not only lockdown was 3-4 years ago, I think the interest in wild camping and hiking has peaked. I think the genre has sort of nosedived a little bit across the spectrum, not just on YouTube, maybe on Instagram as well. And I think as well, like the other YouTubers I've touched on, there is a lot more competition on YouTube now. Certainly when I first started, there was Scotland's Mountains, Murray, he's been on the scene for years. There was Ray, Renegade Outdoors, or RS Outdoors, what he calls himself. There was Eddie, Scottish Wild Camper, Stuart with Scottish Wanderer. I used to watch a little bit of Paul Messner. There was Hermit, he's sadly passed away a few years ago. But other than that, there wasn't much else on the go at the time. Now there's hundreds of channels and we're all doing the same sort of thing. So it comes down to who's doing the most extreme, and like wild camping in high winds and heavy rain, which I think even that has peaked now, and not so many people are interested in that sort of video. I might be wrong, but or certainly I might pick up again in winter. So I suppose the question is, should that let you be put off starting your own hiking and or wild camping channel? And if you want to do it, go for it, because there's no reason why you shouldn't, to be honest. So whilst there might be a bit of a downturn in views for me and some other channels, there is other people that have come onto YouTube in the last year or two and they're absolutely smashing it, because they're doing something a little bit different. They might be camping in different places, they're using different tents, maybe they've just got a different style of filming and editing their videos. So please don't be put off, because at the end of the day, all you need to do a good video is a decent phone. Most phones have been out 4 or 5 years now will shoot in 4K, and they'll have decent stabilisation as well now. Or you can buy yourself a little action camera like I'm shooting on at the moment. This here is the DJI Osmo Action 4, which is one generation older now because the 5's out. But yeah, don't let that put you off, because like I said, a few accessories, you can have a phone rig for vlogging, no problem at all. What's changed though is when I first started at YouTube, you could just put a video out, it'd be like wild camping on, I don't know, Ben Arthur the Cobbler, and people would just come in and watch that and they would get decent views. If I was to do that now, the video would struggle, because there isn't a hook, there's not something to grab the viewer's attention, so you're having to come up with different titles to try and get the click, and this is where I think it becomes more difficult for creators. So behind the thumbnail and the title of the video could be a fantastic video, really well made, good personality, loads of edits and cuts, whatnot. But if you've put the wrong title and thumbnail on and it's not capturing people's attention, your video will just die and go into the Ethernet or wherever, never to be seen again. So this is where you need to think harder about your thumbnails and your titles. So for example, if you were going wild camping up the Cobbler, I don't know, it'd be like in high winds or with a new tent, or this way, Luna, hey. She wants to run out on the golf course. Luna, let's go, come where was I? Yeah, just your title. So yeah, there has to be a hook somewhere for that person to click on the video, and it could be bad weather, stunning views, maybe had a fall. You know, you have to use something, and you don't want to go down the route of clickbait, but it's just finding that balance of creating intrigue without being at total clickbait. And it can be a bit of a minefield at times. But I tell you what, if you do use clickbait and the video doesn't live up to it, you'll get told in the comments, and then your video will ultimately flop because people will switch off and YouTube will not recommend your videos. So sort of moving on from that, I see a lot of small creators like myself, or even smaller, that think the YouTube algorithms are against them because they're not getting the views that they think they deserve. And again, it's probably not the algorithms, they're not against anybody. If your video is generating interest and people are watching to the end, then that'll feed the algorithm to tell YouTube to feed that video out to more people to click on, and then this is where it starts to get that snowball effect. So I don't know, for example, like you put out a wild camping in really bad weather and your thumbnail's on point, you've edited it really well, it's gone out, your subscribers are watching it, a good percentage of them, say between 30 and 40% of the viewers watch to the end. That tells the algorithms, alright, okay, the subscribers like that video, and then pushes the video out to a more sort of fringe audience that are not subscribed. If they like it, this is where you sort of go into that blown up territory, that if you can get your video out beyond the fringe viewers that tiptoe in and out of your sort of content and out to the wider audience, then it will get suggested to people in America. That's when a video can really take off. I've not really experienced it per se, but I've seen plenty of other channels where that's really just blown up, and their channel or that particular video's done well. And then what they've done is, within a week they've gone back out, created a new video on top of that one that's almost as interesting, and then built on that success and so on. You just get that snowball effect where it keeps going and going. It's hard to get that momentum though, because consistency is key. We're told we should post at least one video a week, but I'm more of the opinion that quality over quantity is actually better. But I'm not an expert, I've only got 12,000 subscribers, and that's took me like 10 years to build that, so I'd hardly say it was a really successful channel. My ethos to YouTube is it's a byproduct of my hobby. So I take the camera with me, I'll film my adventure wherever that may be, and if people watch it, that's great. If they don't, well, I'll move on to the next one, because I know I'm doing the Corbetts at the moment, and most people are not really that bothered about Corbetts, they're more into the Munros, so the Munro videos tend to do a bit better. But I don't want to change my hobby to suit the platform. Corbetts is what I'm doing at the moment. I finished the Munros, so I will do some with Kevin occasionally, but generally I'm nearly finished the Corbetts. That's what my channel's been about for the last few years. I just know, unless it was like a really popular Corbett, I'm not going to get the same interest as like the Munros would. So to summarise, if you're thinking of starting a YouTube video, don't delay, get one set up, just get filming, get used to talking to a camera. Best way to do that, the more you practice, the better you get. I still don't think I'm 100% there, to be honest, but practice makes perfect. Just go out, talk to the camera, even if you just delete it, you're just making daft wee videos for yourself, just to get used to speaking to the camera. Don't be put off with what the big guys say. If you want to start a channel, go for it. If you've got something different to add to the genre, you'll do well. It might take time. Don't expect to get millions of subscribers and views overnight. You have to let the algorithms decide who your genre is. So my advice is, don't share your videos out with your family. If you do start a channel, keep it secret. Just let YouTube decide. And then maybe later on, once you've got maybe your first 500 to 1,000 subscribers, then you can say, oh hey guys, I've started a YouTube channel, it's actually picked up. If you want to see it, you can see it here. But I would always suggest, do not share with your friends or family to begin with. Just let the algorithms decide where your videos belong in the wider world of YouTube. And sort of as well as, don't share your videos on Facebook or social media or anything like that either. Certainly not until you're established, and always allow between a week to 10 days for the video to settle down before you start sharing on social media. Again, just let your video grow organically with the YouTube algorithms. That's my understanding, and I've done a lot of research into this as well. But anyways, I hope you find this useful. If you've got any questions about vlogging, the cameras I use, tripods, whatever, do leave a comment down below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next one, which will hopefully be a wild camping video. I'll leave a past one here, but I'll catch you guys later. Cheers.